Hi, my name is Dan Grimsley. My journey started basically back in 2014. I was weighing close to 600 pounds and just dealing with a host of medical issues, cardiac-wise. I was in congestive heart failure, moderate congestive heart failure, had dealt with multiple blood clots in my legs and my lungs. I was on oxygen 24 hours a day. It was just a very, very dark time back then. I had always dealt with weight issues throughout my life, always been heavier. But as I got older, it just kind of intensified. The weight kept building and building and building to the point where I was placed on disability and had just life-changing events going on. In 2014, my son was, I believe, about 10 years old. I had a cardiologist come in and talk to me. He said, Dan, he said, this is probably going to be the last time we treat you. And I really didn't know what he meant, but what he meant was, at that point, I was so large that they were limited to what they could do to help me in any kind of medical situation that should arise. Long story short, that kind of kicked me off as far as getting my life in order, dealing with some of the issues that had brought me to that place. Being that size, and looking at and setting goals for the future, it just seems to reach those goals seems impossible. Like I said, I couldn't walk more than 50 feet without sitting down or having some kind of assistance. And like I said, I was basically housebound. But we all had that starting point. So I think it's important to set small goals and work towards them every day. The first thing I had to do was find my why. And my why has always been my family, my son, my wife, and to be around for them in the future. And at the rate I was going, that just was not going to happen. So we made a plan just to make small goals, work for them very slowly each and every day, always trying to progress. That was my motivation. That was really my only motivation. Once this clicked that I needed to make these changes, everything just kind of started working and falling into place. There were setbacks, and some of the things that I would try to do was just discouraging at the time. It was dealing with a lot of denial as to what got me into that place and what I was dealing with. But as you start working and progressing towards these small goals, which I think is very important to make. Obviously, I had long-term goals, but I think at that point, you have to set these small goals that are achievable to get that forward momentum going. What I used when I first started this journey was basically a table-mounted hand bike from Sunny, and I would work on that each and every day for what started off to be only a couple minutes, and I was winded. But over time, that built and built. One day it would be 5 minutes, then it would go to 10 minutes, then it would go to 15 minutes. And as I started seeing this forward progress, it really became exciting. It really struck a fire in me to saying, hey, you can do this. I found my support. I found my why, which is my family. That gave me my motivation. And each and every day I would work on this. It was not always easy. The days were not always, easy to get through. There were hard days. There were days when, you started doubting yourself, could this be done? But I think it's important to keep in the back of your mind that we're stronger than we think we are. We can achieve so much by just making small progress each and every day, by making these small advances and putting all these tools into place. The tools I used for my journey was obviously the support system I had with my family. I had an awesome medical team behind me, and the equipment. And when Sunny reached out to me, their equipment has always played a vital role in helping me reach this journey. Like I said, I started off with just the hand bike. I would use that each and every day. As my strength built and as my endurance built, I eventually went to a treadmill. Once I was able to use the treadmill, once again, it was just a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there. That led to 15 minutes, and I just built on that each and every day. I would build and do more and more and more. The weight started coming off. Like I said, I started off at 600 pounds. It started falling off very quickly. And when you see this progress, it just gets you going even more. You know, when you see what you can do and you see that progress can be made, it's not going to happen overnight, but you do see these little things happening, and it just makes you realize, hey, I can change this. I can change the situation that I'm in. We've always used the cardio equipment. I incorporated strength training. Obviously, diet was a huge part of it, but fitness always has to play a role in any journey. That functional fitness is what I call it. You need to walk. You need to move. You need to get that heart rate elevated. And what was amazing to me is once I saw these changes happening weight-wise, a lot of these medical issues just kind of resolved themselves. Back when I started my journey, I was on basically almost 17 or 18 medicines a day just to get me through the day. Blood thinners, heart rate meds, just you name it. So much stuff. Diuretics to keep the fluid off my chest, to keep the fluid off my lungs, to be able to breathe the best I could. As this weight started coming off, and as I started building this cardiovascular strength using the equipment, those meds started disappearing. They took me off, they would take me off this one, take me off that one. And it's amazing how just doing some cardiovascular work and some strength training incorporated with a well-balanced diet, how quickly we can change things. And I say quickly, really when you look at it, it does happen. It's a slow progress, but when you look back, it really didn't take that long to make these changes. Today I'm on one med, which I will be on for the remainder of my life, which is a blood thinner. Outside of that, I'm on no more meds, and I attribute this all to just turning my life around health-wise, and incorporating exercise into it. We talked about, or I was asked about some of the milestones that I reached once I dropped this weight, and the first thing that comes to my mind was when I started this journey, I had set a goal that I wanted to do, and it's simple. It's simple to a lot of people, but when you're at one point being that heavy, doing something as simple as getting on a roller coaster is a monumental feat. And that was the first thing we did once I got to a good weight. Was me and my son actually rode a roller coaster, and like I said, so many people take that for granted, but when you're that size and you haven't been able to do that for years and years, that's an amazing thing. It's a goal that I reached, and I will never forget that day when it happened. So you set these milestones, you set these goals, and you work daily towards them. And to this day, right now I'm weighing about 260-ish. So my weight still goes up and down. It's a constant battle, but I'm still using the equipment. I work out every day. To this day, I'm running 3 or 4 miles every other day. My life has completely changed. I've got my personal training certificates because I want to inspire. I want to help the next person. So I guess the takeaway from this is never underestimate the strength that you have. Look at the situation you're in now and know that it can be changed. It just takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of support. It takes planning. It takes the understanding that having the understanding that not every day is going to be a success. You're going to fail. You're going to stumble, but you have to take that, learn from it, and move forward tomorrow and just shake that off. And that's kind of what I do every day. I looked at this video as a chance to maybe help and encourage the next person, because where I came from was a totally dark place. It seemed like there was no end in sight. But I completely turned that around with, like I said, not only doing it myself, but with the help of my family and so many other people. I'm in the gym now at least 3 times a week. We have our garage set up with our own equipment. Like I said, Sunny has played a big role in that. We always depend on their equipment. Has always been dependable to us. My go-to piece is actually the Asuna spin bike that we have. I never thought back in the day that spinning would be something that I enjoy so much. but we have totally enjoyed that piece of equipment. And we're going to continue on. My whole family now has kind of got a routine going, health routine, and it's something we do daily. It's something that we will continue to do. So just, on your journey, just, I guess, to set your goals, set your small goals, and get a plan in place, and just be consistent. That was my biggest thing early on with health issues and trying to lose weight. I was never consistent with it. But once you develop that consistency, it becomes a habit. And to this day, if I don't get out and do my cardio for the day, I feel like my day's not complete. Now there are days where I need a rest. It's all incorporated. You have to incorporate all these tools. But I think the takeaway is to be consistent, support others, know that it can be done, have patience, and have faith in the process. Find something that you enjoy doing. With me, like I said, it's been the spin bike and the tread that we have. Both Sunny pieces of equipment. They're amazing. They've always worked for us, and we will be consumers for the long run with them. So find something that works for you, keep at it, and just know that it can be done.